Good day everyone, my name is Jelica Samaria from BPID 1C and currently studying at Eastern Visayas State University, Ormoc City campus. Today, I have a question for you. So, have you ever been experienced to be stressed? In what way? So, we all know, and I know that everyone had experienced it in different ways. So, today we are going to have a discussion regarding that stress. And our topic for today is all about how to respond stress or responses to stress. Responses to stress or the stress response or the fight flight response is emergency reaction of the body. It is there to keep you safe in emergencies. Of course, if we know how to respond ourselves, if we know how to respond in that certain situation that is we're in the point that we're stressed, it will help us to keep us safe from that that might happen, or that in that possible situation the effect of that possible situation. Our main objective for this topic is, at the end of this lesson, the student would be able to define what is responses to stress, then determine the stress level and the level of responses to stress. And the student also will recognize the different types of stress and understand how stress affects you. Lastly is how to manage stress effectively. So that is our objective. Okay, according to Seward 2008, page 10, how do we respond to stress? So how do we respond to stress? Usually, the body begins to react before a full analysis of situation is made, but a return to a state of calm is also imminent. Of course, we should respond to stress in order for us, if we're healthy enough to respond in every situation, in every stress that may come in our life, or sabihin saya ka, kabaluta mo base or mo kabaluta mo base or magbana-bana nga kana siya maka-stress. So makinahanglan mao ni ang ato buhaton in order for that nga maminus-minusan ang atong ka-stress or dili kayo ta ma-stress. Okay, that is according to Seward 2018. Then we have and according to Seward, we have three general levels each of us responds to stress. So adin levels ang mga stress. So the first one is emotional, which is very sakit jud na, emotional. We have physiological, and we have also the behavioral. So tawa lang ang screen na to, we have that one. Okay, ang emotional, it means it involves the experience of a negative effect such as anxiety. In the context of a physiological, no stress response that includes cardiovascular and hormonal changes. Examples of emotional is fears. So we all know that fears is nahadlok. Of course, ang fears is one of the source or one of the reasons also nga ma-stress ang isa ka tao. So fears. Then we have sadness. Emotional gihapon siya, sadness, nag-ulta kay mao na we are broken, not broken nga gibuwagad sa uyab or ingana, but daghan klase-klase nga rason nga mag-cause of sadness, especially mga broken family, bisan unsa. Then we have anger. So anger is belong to emotional one. Syempre tao lang ta masuko sad ta. So one of kuansa na siya reason nga kana ang makakuha tag stress. Source po ni siya sa stress, ang anger. So let's move on to the second one, which is the physiological. So in physiological is an external or internal condition that challenges the homeostasis of a cell or an organism. It can be divided in three different aspects. So first, ang physiological and is comes from the ancient word comes from the Greek word which means species. Species means nature or region. Then logia means the study of an scientific study of a functions and mechanism in a living system. So that is where the physiological word came from. So ang belong ani niya is environmental stress, intrinsic developmental stress, and aging. So mauna siya ang mga sources of stress diha sa physiological. So environmental stress, example, daghag basura sa atuhang palibot, ana masuko ta, iskot kabaho, ana something like that. That is one of example of environmental stress, which is belongs niya sa physiological. Okay, next we have the behavioral. So we all know that behavioral is comes from the root word behavior. So atong mga pamatasan or atong attitude. Okay, it is an avoidance of task. So example ani niya is sleep problems, difficulty in completing work assignments, changes in eating or drinking. Mao na siya mga example sa behavioral. So sleep problems, so di ka makatulog sa saktong oras, di ba? Gusto ka batog na change na ang imuhang behavioral. Imbis matulog ka 8, tibutang ba nato ron, makatulog na kag 10 kay di makakatulog, which is not regular na ang imuhang pagkatulog, na change na ang behavior. Difficulty in completing work assignments. Number 1 sa ni siya kay magtapol naman ta, sige naman tag-ingon na unya na. O diba? Affect sa atong behavior, nagpakita og behavior. Changes in eating or drinking, kaon karon, kaon later, kaon na sad. So that is behavioral stress. Kakaibaw na stress na di ay ta.
Then we have, according to Silly, the way our body responds to stress is called the general adaptation syndrome, or in short, GAS, which contains of 3 stages: the alarm, the resistance, and the exhaustion. So, meaning of this, so the way that our body responds to stress is na ay mga pangan, which is the general adaptation syndrome, and it has 3 stages. So the first one is the alarm. In alarm, it triggers stress hormones, heart rate, blood pressure, even sugar level increases, fight or flight responses. So it means na in this stage, mo alarm na or na ay mga timailhan na stress ka or padung naka-stress. Like for example, pas ang imong heart rate, kaya na kay nakuan na sa kabutang, even imong sugar level mo increase. Then we have the resistance, which is the body tries to counteract the alarm stage. Body tries to normalize, struggling to concentrate, and maybe irritable. So kaning resistance is ano siyang murag na siya sa tunga or nagpatunga, which is where ato ang self is mo counteract sa usa ka situation or ni-react nga kana ang usa ka butang is maka-stress ato or something like that. Then we have the exhaustion. Our body is tired of fighting stress, tiredness, depression, and anxiety, feeling unable to cope any problem. So in this stage, na stage nga stress na ang isa ka tao. But it doesn't mean na, like for example, nabuang na siya or depressed na kayo na siya. Because whenever we perceive a stressor, our body alerted and react or respond to depending on the ways we are enculturated, exposed to, or educated. After some time, we get tired of resisting or struggling. However, feeling of exhaustion does not mean giving up, but merely taking the necessary rest of the break for the self to regain energy and motivation to face and overcome challenges. So, para sa mga tao nga na nasa stage of exhaustion, we should not down them or kung ano na yun natin, judge na ito nga buang sila or something nga na. Instead, we should motivate them, encourage them na kung ano na siya, imura na siya malampasan. Then, the American Institution of Stress cites the following statistics. 43% of all adults suffer adverse health effects due to stress. 80% of all visits to primary care physicians are for stress-related complaints or disorders such as allergies, common colds, headache, increase in blood pressure, or diarrhea, according to CY 2008, page 3. Then we have here the graphs or bar graphs that shows the average stress level by generation and average stress level by gender. So as we can see, we have 3.5, 4.3, 5.8, and 6.0 sa kada generation nato makita. Then the report natay 4.9, 5.3, 4.94 male and 5.34 female. So makita na to millennials, no, 6.0 is the highest level of generation nga stress. And then diri sad sa gender, females ang pinaka-high of level. So, questions. What do you think are the reasons why the millennials are currently the most stressed generation and why females are more stressed than males? Okay. So, according to my research, it is because millennials are more stressed than any other current living generation. According to a new survey conducted by the American Psychological Association and Harris Interactive, overall, millennials are defined by coordinators as anyone between the ages of 18 to 33 reported that they had a stress level of 5.4 out of 10. 5.4 out of 10. The researchers generally considered a stress level of 3.6 to be healthy. The numbers are also surprising because overall stress has declined across the country from 5.2 out of 10 in 2011 to 4.9 in 2012. 39% of millennials said they were more stressed since last year, compared to 35% of all service takers. In comparison, only 39% of those 67 or older said they increase in their stress. So sa bar pakita nato na ang millennials ang pinaka stress sa ato generation karon. It may be because sad sa atong mga high-tech na karon nga technology. Stress na kaayo ta. Daghan naman og daghan na siya og influences, mga bad influences. Then even diri sa pikas, female ang pinakataas og level. Kay based sa ako ang observation, mga female is sensitive kaayo. Sensitive sa mga butang. So that's all. Hope you learned something. Thank you and God bless.